Today is Thursday and it's the 12th of January 2023 and we're down in Santa Ponsa. So we've only been back a few days now since our trip to England for Christmas and New Year, but we're back in Mallorca and we're sort of getting back into our regular routine. Except it's not a regular routine, it's a new routine for me because I'm now happily retired. How exciting. Do what we want when we want. At least that's the theory. So let's go for a walk. It is the theory, of course, it's not necessarily the practice because we do have other commitments. So we'll get out as much as we can and do as many of the walks as we can when we can, and particularly when the weather's as beautiful as it is again today. Beautiful blue sky above. Temperatures I think maybe feel a little bit cooler today, I'm not quite sure, and definitely a little bit of a breeze blowing off the sea, so we'll see how that is. But we're out quite early, 11 o'clock in the morning, which is pretty unusual for us in the week. It's nice to come down to Santa Ponsa, and we always quite enjoy the walk here, which takes us up around the back, up towards the square, and then down to the sea. And hopefully that'll be nice and clear when we get down there, not too breezy. So we've been back. Now it seems like we've always been back, but we've only been back since Monday night, and it's now Thursday, and we're just getting ourselves sorted out and shopping and everything. So it's a matter of getting back into routines that don't involve school. I've already put a couple of videos up here in Mallorca. So the first place we went to, many people guessed where the first place we were going to go to was Palma Nova. A beautiful walk along the front in Palma Nova, and beautiful blue skies. And we did meet Karen and Darren, and so it was nice to meet some people who were watching our channel there. And then yesterday Anita had her knitting, so she was off with the ladies. A bit noisy because of motorbikes. Yeah, Anita was with the Nitwits, that's what they call themselves. So they're knitting scarves and hats for the homeless and those that might need them. Kind of surprising really that we do have homeless people in Mallorca, but there are quite a few, and they just need a little bit of support. I was reading some frightening statistics in the UK for London. Somebody has to correct me if I've got this wrong, but it was like 1 in 50 or 1 in 60 people are homeless in London. I guess that doesn't mean they're sleeping on the streets. It probably means that they're sofa hopping or staying with friends or whatever. It seemed a ridiculously large number.
Glad I put my coat on.
Well, I left my jumper off because yesterday I was walking around and only my jumper on, didn't have a jacket on, and it was just so warm. So I've left it off today. Just got a little jacket on, and I'm fine at the moment. And been reading lots of comments, hundreds and hundreds of comments. The best place if you're writing a comment is to do it on the YouTube channel. I know a lot of people write them on Facebook and don't always get to see those because They tend to go all over the place. So if you write on the YouTube channel, I'll always reply to you. So Anita's looking already at the Indian restaurant here, and
India, that's on down by the bus stop at front.
all right. Bombay closed. The other restaurant is the Taste of India. So we actually did go to the Taste of India. I guess last year now, 2022. That was last year. That's actually close to the roundabout, so if you fancy an Indian, that's your place to go.
I always fancy him.
Not at 11 o'clock in the morning, dear. Maybe. Just getting past the rising sun. She's open. People in there having the morning coffees. So amongst all of those comments, somebody was saying, what a great life we have here. And my response is that, yeah, we're very, very lucky to live in Mallorca, and we say it regularly to each other how lucky we are to be able to live in Mallorca. But it's all about choices. We made choices in our lives that have led to where we are. So other people make different choices, and it's not always been as easy as it may seem to people who come on holiday here, and they seem to think that it's all bright and shiny and sunny and all the time, and that life is easy here. Well, that's not necessarily the case. We've certainly gone through some hard times as well as the good times, but the good times outweigh the bad times. So yes, we are lucky, and the choices we made were really good. One thing Anita really likes to do is to count steps. So there's a few there for you. Well, if you go up there, I'll wait for you down here and come back down just to make sure you got the number right. Okay, no, we won't do that. Yeah, Santa Ponsa is on the valleys, and there's more steps there that go down to the sea. We'll be down there later on. So yes, coming to Mallorca, 1985 was a big decision. That I don't know, a big decision that we made very easily. It wasn't hard to make that decision. We decided that was it. We didn't mind what we were giving up. We didn't know what we were going to go into. But we were young, I suppose. We were only in our 20s. And if everything had gone wrong, we always knew we could go back to the UK, and we've both got families there, so we had that little bit of support that meant we didn't have to worry too much. But we arrived on the island with 2 suitcases, a pushchair and a little baby, and almost no money. And those of you who come on holiday will know that Mallorca is an expensive place to be. It's not really changed, it always has been reasonably expensive. But what we did have, or at least I had, was a job, and that obviously made life a little bit easier. And the second thing that made it a lot easier was that we didn't have to look for somewhere to live. And that's a problem for people coming to live in Mallorca now, is that you have to find somewhere to live. And that's become very difficult, very expensive. Renting properties costs you a small fortune. And if we hadn't had the help of the school where I was working, then it would have been really difficult for us. We only stayed in that little apartment. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. We only stayed in there for a few weeks, about maybe 2 or 3 months, I don't know. But that's when we moved to Portalsnaus, which is what the video yesterday showed. It showed where we lived in Portalsnaus. Beautiful village, and we've obviously lived there for quite a while and saw it grow.
Yo tengo el estándar. El estándar.
And the house that we lived in Portalsnaus was a lovely house, but it was up 75 steps, so that was a little bit of a drawback there. But we did stay there for 3 years, was it? And then we moved up into the middle of the village, where we stayed for much longer, 13 or 14 years. So Portalsnaus is our home here on the island. It's where we started our lives, and where we still keep going back to, and where we regularly go shopping. And we know quite a lot of people who still live in the village. I guess as time goes by, that number's getting less and less. But life was not always easy. We had some hard times, and the temperature's not always hot and sunny. It's not even always like today. In fact, we've just read the weather forecast, and I know we're getting some bad weather in Northern Europe and particularly in the UK, and I think we're going to get some of that this weekend. We don't get it as badly as Northern Europe and the UK get it, but it's going to get cold this weekend, and there are predictions that there could be snow, and that's not unusual. We get snow more or less every year here in Mallorca, not down at sea level, not down where we live normally, but up on the mountains, up on Majorca, and they'll get a dusting. I think we've already had a dusting earlier on in the winter, but they're expecting that there may be another one either this weekend or early next week, and the temperatures will drop quite considerably. It was 18 degrees when we were walking around Palma Nova, really quite nice, and I'm starting to feel warm again. All this part of the walk is uphill, of course.
It's all down.
And then it's all down. So the weather's one thing, and then living in Mallorca, you have to face living. So all the things that you do in the UK or wherever, you have to do here. So you have to go shopping, you have to have a doctor and a dentist and all of those things. You have to pay your taxes, and some of those can be quite daunting, particularly when you're new arrivals. And when we arrived in 1985, it wasn't quite so easy to get the things that you were used to. So shopping was a little bit different. I think that's something we probably got over quite quickly. And then getting yourself a doctor, getting yourself a dentist, and paying taxes. Paying taxes is very important here. Make sure you get your taxes all sorted out. And because we were working here, at least I was working here full time, we became part of the social security system. So we were enrolled with social security doctors. Many people, just looking at the butchers, do you want something? I don't think we're going to buy anything at this point. Many people here do have private health insurance and use private doctors, and there's quite a few private hospitals dotted around the island. But for us, the social security has been fantastic. I must say that when we did first come here, we did enrol with private health insurance, and we kept that going for a few years. In fact, our son Adam was born in a private hospital, simply because we didn't know what the system was and we didn't understand it all. It took that time to get it all sorted. But after Adam, we dropped the private health insurance and we rely on the social security, the National Health Service, which is excellent. Can't fault the National Health Service here. Really happy with our doctor. We've had the same doctor in Portal's House for many years now, and his surgery's moved from one place to another, but he's remained a constant, and it's really nice to have a doctor who knows you. Dentists, well, they've been a bit different. We've never found a national health dentist. I think probably in the UK people have a similar problem. I've heard of cases this week where people have been trying to register with a national health doctor and they simply can't. And it may be similar here, but we never really tried. We were registered in Santa Ponsa actually with Frank de Jong, who's a Dutch dentist, and he was our dentist for years and years and years until he retired. I'm really happy with him. When he retired, we had to find another dentist, and that wasn't so easy, at least in the first instance. First dentists we visited, we didn't quite get on with, so we dropped them, and then came back again to Santa Ponsa, where we've found another excellent dentist. Just asking Anita his name and I've forgotten.
Nice.
So we'll catch up with that later.
Howard.
Howard, of course. Howard in Santa Ponsa. Apologies, Howard. So we're in the square. You can see that. There's a big sign that says the square. It looks as though it needs a lick of paint. But that's what happens at this time of the year. Everywhere gets a lick of paint. They resurfaced the square last year, I think, or much of it. So all the tiling's now being done. The stage, which quite often disappears, is still there. So
Maybe for San Sebastian.
They don't celebrate San Sebastian here. San Sebastian is the patron saint of Palma and various other little towns and villages around the island, but certainly Palma. And there will be a big fiesta here around the 20th of this month. And on the eve they will have concerts and used to have fireworks as well. Certainly having concerts this year, and some big name acts are being called in. Seem to be all Spanish this time, so I don't know whether we'll be able to get down this year. I'd really like to. I'm not sure that's going to be possible. There's even a telephone box here. So very quiet in the square. What would you expect in the middle of January 2023? I've got to get my head around that year. 2023, I'm sure I'm going to give you the wrong year as we progress through videos later on. And I don't always have Anita to correct me. Crispy cod. have enjoyed in the UK really some lovely fish and chips. Probably the best one was in Weymouth.
Marlborough.
At the Marlborough, yes. It's a place pretty much every time we go to Weymouth we try to go to the Marlborough to have fish and chips. But we had a special visit because we went to the pantomime.
Oh no we didn't, oh yes we did.
And we did indeed, and we saw Sleeping Beauty, didn't we? I got it right this time. And really enjoyed it, really good fun. It was more or less their last performance. I think they'd only got 2 or 3 performances left, so end of the pantomime season for them. But great fun for us, great fun for the grandchildren. I do like pantomimes. They've got this comedy that's on 2 levels, so the children enjoy it and the adults can enjoy the humour that the children don't understand, thankfully. So we're going to go down towards the sea now and have a stroll by the water. On another occasion we must walk around here, we never do that. Perhaps we should start around here and go down towards Costa de la Calma at some point. So if we just go around the headland here, you end up in Costa de la Calma, which has got a nice little beach and another lovely walkway. So yeah, we do need to definitely do that. Anita was saying we did it about this time last year or the year before. Last year was it? And there was actually a cafe open, so we can have a coffee, which was really nice and unexpected, of course. So just going down this pathway here, it's a little bit rickety. Not quite as rickety as the one I was on yesterday in Portals and House, which did have a Peligroso sign saying it was too dangerous to walk on. You know what I'm like, don't you, Faith? Like a challenge. And there used to be a challenge down here which also said don't pass, no pasar. It was where the sea had actually eroded away some of the pathway and we used to have to scramble over it. And I'm on Buenos Good morning. So yeah, so yes, this needs a little bit of restoration, I think, a little bit of reparation. We're in the sunshine and it's quite warm in the sun, isn't it? Anita's all wrapped up, she's got a thick coat on, she's got a scarf on. Left my scarf in England. Not sure what else I've left in England, but certainly the scarf's there. Be ready for me for next time.
At least it wasn't the GoPro.
No, I didn't leave the video camera there, the GoPro. Now, during the summer I did have an incident where I left the GoPro in one car and got into another car, and the 2 cars were going to different destinations. So all our second London trip were videoed with a different GoPro. I don't know if you noticed the difference. We're nearly down to the sea and we've got a few steps to go down. And here at least it's just gentle ripples against the pebbly beach, so it's not too bad. Nobody out on the water, no yachts, no paddle boards. Just gentle rippling of the waves.
sound, isn't it? To see lapping onto the shore.
It is. This is the area that was battered by the storms during the lockdown period. It took them a while to fix it, but it's all fixed up now, and didn't open last summer. But hopefully someone will take it all on and open it up this summer. Probably still needs a little bit of work to be done. And we're now out on the other side. Beautiful look at the bay. Fishermen down there. One or two people catching some rays. He's going to take some photos. In the distance, I think there may be a paddleboarder out there, just in the far distance, near to the port. Quite often people come to Santa Ponsa and forget that there is a port over there, and the port just goes in between the mountains there, and it's got quite a few boats in, so if you are a regular visitor to Santa Ponsa and didn't know about that, then that's a walk on the other side. So there's a road that goes all the way up there and then all the way to the cross, and then beyond the cross is the port. Well worth a walk. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to go head down, see what's going on this side. And it's just taking one or two photos. And there's all these little beaches. People can get into the water. You need to bring your shoes. I think it's a bit pebbly down there. Sea shoes. And this is where the path. Perdón.
Gracias.
This is where the path was broken, but they've actually come along now and repaired it, so perfectly safe. I hope. This is where I start singing the Mission Impossible theme. Maybe. Carefully down the steps first. Anita comes to join me. She's walking up above there. There's one or two other people out now, having a little walk. But much safer now that they've repaired this little bit. And further along too, there were some areas where the promenade was damaged, and that's been sort of fixed. Looks as though they're still doing some work though. Have a look here, they can see there's a makeshift fence. So still a little bit more to do, I think. Well, that's good. That's what they should be doing at this time of the year, getting these things all fixed up. I'm not sure what's going on here. In the summertime, there'll be lots of parasols out here and sunbeds. But the sunbeds tend to be owned by the people who live in these apartments. Always get a good view here, back on the beach, which is pretty much deserted. They have put a lot of fences on the beach, and it's something that we see more and more of in different parts of the island. It's just to protect the migration of the sand. As the winter winds blow the sand along, it can move it around a bit, and by putting the fences up, it sort of redirects the wind or stops the wind, and therefore stops the sand from moving along too much. There's another one of these fences, so there's obviously some intention of work, repair work to go on. And yeah, it's a little bit cracked down there. I've seen worse. And just looking in front, there's quite a lot more of this fence, so good on you, whoever it is that's doing this. It's one of these things the government is responsible for, but which part of the government? Well, that's it. We're actually in Santa Ponsa, but Santa Ponsa forms part of Calvia, and so Calvia is the government, the local government. But the coast has always been run by coastas, coasts. And this is what they're doing here. Look, they've changed this. Instead of being a slipway, it's going to have looks like it's going to have a solid end here. They're going to put some concrete down. And looks like Santa Ponsa's lost a bit of a slipway there. Might be better for us for walking there. So costas were responsible for the beaches and anything close to the sea. But last year the rules were being changed. I'm not sure how far they've got with that, or whether it's actually happened now. And the local government on the island, which is probably the council, will have responsibility for the beaches, the shore, and things close to the beach. So I'm not quite sure who, and there's no signs up indicating who is doing what to this promenade area here. It's just a fence. And usually when they're doing any work here in Mallorca, there is a fence, a sign which will give you some indication of who's doing what, so you know who to complain to if something's wrong. They've obviously put down some concrete here, so they're driving big vehicles over. But we're just coming to an area where there was some damage last year. In fact, a bit of a sinkhole appeared in the promenade just here. So this is all fairly new concrete that's now been put in place and made this a lot better. But the next little beach here never really did have much of a decent walkway across, so I'm wondering if that's going to be one of the places that improvements can occur. Nobody appears to be working on it now though. And today is a relatively normal day. It's middle of the holidays are finished, middle of January. So we've got the gardener working here, doing his topiary. And swimming pool here. The fence around it, but unfortunately the fence has in some places fallen into the water. It's actually a hose pipe filling it up. It's going to be difficult to get around that way, so we walk all the way around. Yeah, I think it is quite windy out there. We've been a little bit sheltered, we're getting a bit more wind now. But I think out in the bay it is actually quite breezy. So we're just coming around here. And again, more fences up. That's good to see at this time of the year. It's good to see that somebody's actually doing some work. Well, never actually doing any work, but at least they've fenced it off so that they are intending to do some work. Even though it is a little bit choppy, the sea is crystal clear. You can see the bottom beautifully. It was a little bit more murky in Portal's Naus yesterday, but that is quite a narrow bay and there's a lot of sand there, so it was bringing up the sand from the bottom. Over Christmas we were in Winchester. Beautiful city. If you've not visited Winchester, it really is pretty. A week ago, was it? And the first thing that struck me while we were there, is the river, how fast flowing it was, how full it was, but not just that, but how clean and clear the water was. Absolutely crystal clear. It felt as though you could just put your hand down and drink that water. I think they probably do. There was certainly things being sold there which are mentioning the local water, which comes from the river, I suppose. Just going back towards the main beach now.
I'm sure the water's warmer here than it is in England, isn't it?
I'm sure it is. So on Boxing Day, Laura went for a swim. It was all to raise money for one of the cancer charities. And I got a message today from the cancer charity saying that they'd, on that particular day, raised, I think it was over £700, which is really good, just for a few people taking a dip in the water. They spent about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes in that freezing cold water. Not something I would want to do. And it was mainly ladies that did it, wasn't it? And I think hats off to them.
Braver than the men.
Definitely braver than the men. You could look at it in a different way, but I'm not going to say that. And yeah, so raising all that money is really good. So it was nice to see that comment on the YouTube channel this morning when I got up.
We need to find somewhere to have a coffee.
Yeah, it's getting towards that time. We're almost back to where we started, and that's what I like about this particular walk, is it's a circular walk, and so we soon get back to where we started, and where we started is fairly close to where we parked the car. But we're hoping soon that we won't be using the car so much, because we've been to inquire about our bus passes. And before you say it, no, it's not an OAP bus pass, it's just a bus pass. And it's available to all residents on the island. So we went yesterday and they got all the passes there ready to give out. Unfortunately their system wasn't working, and they told us to come back next Monday. So hopefully...
Go somewhere else to get them though.
Yeah, we could try somewhere else. But,
No rush.
there's no rush, so next Monday we'll go down to Magaluf actually, and we'll be able to get our card, which will entitle us, so I'm led to understand, to free public transport, which means we get on a bus, we get on a train, and we don't have to pay anything. So it's, that opens up a whole lot of new opportunities for us, because going to the east coast of the island, it's quite a chore. It involves an hour's drive, which is going to be probably 2 hours on a bus, but it's an hour's drive at least. And then we have a walk, we have some lunch, but the problem for me is it's an hour's drive back, and by the time I've had a walk and I've had a lunch, I'm not really wanting to drive back for an hour. I suppose we could stay for the night, but then it becomes expensive. So catching the bus will mean we can go for a walk, and we can have some lunch, and then we can relax on the bus on the way home. Sounds perfect to me. Maybe that sounds just too perfect and it won't actually work like that, but we'll find out. When we've got our cards, we're going to try it out and see some different parts of the island. Anissa's a bit of an expert on buses anyway, because she uses them fairly regularly.
I only go to Palma.
To go to Palma? That's a regular thing, fairly. I mean, every couple of weeks you do it.
Then on Monday.
And goes to meet Yvonne there, and they have a natter as they go shopping. So as we come back to the beach, you can see the fences that I was talking about earlier, and these are to restrict the movement of the sand that's on the beach, because if it isn't wet, it isn't raining, it blows about a lot, and well, I don't think it's rained very much for a very long time, which is giving rise to a little bit of concern as far as the reservoirs are concerned. Will they be able to cope with the huge influx of tourists that arrive later on this year? So this is just about where we started, right opposite McDonald's, which is closed. Well, I guess we couldn't stop off without having a coffee, so here we are near the roundabout, and we're just having a coffee here. So cheers, and again, bye for now. Well, thank you very much for watching. It's been a really nice walk today, and sun shining. It's not too cold, it's not too warm, just perfect. See you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye bye.